What's up guys, welcome to another video where we're going to take a look at a Reddit post that has been up for quite a lot considering it's only been up for 6 hours. This is posted by Concerned Gillenorian and it's got 81 upvotes already in 6 hours and it's got a gold award as well. But as you can see in the title, it is called We Need to Talk About PVM Macros. So this is something that I get asked, holy crap man, I get asked this so much on stream. I can't even begin to count or explain how much it is properly. Like it must be every stream. It must be every single stream. Is it okay to use a macro for bladed dive? Will I get banned if I use a macro to swap my weapons? I can't set up my keybinds properly to the point where I can do 4-ticking and stuff. Am I allowed to macro it? All of these sort of questions all the freaking time. And I always say, don't do it, right? Don't macro, it's not worth it. I say this because personally I want macro. There's just no way. I make money off of playing RuneScape, right? I do YouTube content. I need my account. Now, most people will tell you that you probably won't get banned doing this. Some people will tell you that you will get banned. I will tell you that you will get banned because I am not being responsible for people getting their accounts banned in the future or if Jagex backpedal on it. But if they go the other way, then it doesn't matter. I was just wrong, right? But we don't have any clarity on it. Now, I've had a skim through this, but we're going to go through it together. And I really do think it's important to talk about. And hopefully, if more people talk about it, then maybe one day we'll actually get an answer on this. But yeah, so personally, I don't go anywhere near macros. I won't touch them because it's just too much. It's too much risk for me. If I lose my account, I'm going to struggle to make a lot of videos that I make, and it wouldn't be a good day, right? It wouldn't be a good day. But anyway, so this post here is talking about macros in general and the fact that we don't have any clarity on it. So we're going to go through it, and yeah, if you're into that sort of stuff, make sure to leave a like, subscribe channel if you're new, and well, here we go. So it says, disclaimer, this isn't meant to be targeted towards anyone in particular, nor toxic. Please don't make it that. Okay, cool, good. Issue. When will Jagex hop off the fence and give a definitive company line about where they stand with PVM macros? We heard on the RS Guys interview series one department saying they are against the rules, but Jagex doesn't ban for them, along with go have fun, and if macros enable you to do that, then we don't see a problem. This is very true. Okay, so when this actually came out, this actual episode of this came out, I remember seeing this bit, and I remember talking to people on Discord and saying, "Holy crap! JMods have just confirmed that they don't ban for this. They've confirmed this is something that you're okay to do, as long as you're having fun. They're not fussed. It's okay. They don't ban for it." And people start spreading this around and saying that, you know, it's okay to use a few macros. And I do think that on stream a few times I might have even said that on the thing they said this, but then I changed my mind back because I also heard people say, then this next bit here, at the same time, over in player support, there are staff who actually do the banning, insisting, no, we do actively ban for macro usage. We do actively ban for macro usage. That's what they insist on it. So obviously now it goes two ways. There's one part of the team that actually does the banning, saying no, we do actively ban people for macro usage, and I assume this has to include PVM macros and not talking about like something that you can run a script forever that'll just freaking, I don't know, fletch from level 1 to 99, because obviously that could be a macro too. There's a lot of stuff in this game that could be macroed from like for hours on end just from a little macro, because it's all AFK, it's all bank standing, right? How hard would it be to macro something that would open up a bank and load a preset and craft something, I don't know, convert something, let's say cutting granite, my good old favorite moneymaker that I like to hate on, because it's terrible, don't do it. But like, you could do that probably, and it wouldn't be that difficult to do, and then you run it forever and you just have an infinite, it's a bot farm, it's a bot, right? So I assume they're not talking about that, and because, you know, we're talking about this in general, they are talking about PVM macros. And I've made a video on this in the past, talked about it in the past about whether macro should be allowed or not, but this is kind of different. And so it says here, can we get some clarity where all departments actually communicate with each other and fully understand what PVM macros are and do? and the scale to which they're used. And then it says, yes, looking at you, AOD War Record teams. Now, I'll link the Reddit post here if you want to check these clips out and stuff. I had a quick check of them. And yeah, these players use macros. It is what it is. I'm going to say right now, personally, if you want to use a macro, use it. I don't care. It's not to do with me. It's on your own risk. It's not mine. I'm not telling you to go do it. I'm not saying that you should. I'm not hating on anyone who does. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, if you want to use them, use them. If you don't. It's no different to me. So if you want to come and check this stuff out, then you can. So for those that don't know, PVM macros allow you to bind multiple keybinds to a single key. You'll most commonly see this with armor or weapon switches, where someone will go from a full magic setup immediately to melee in a single tick, aka hybrid. I'm not talking about botting, that's something completely different. Here's an example. So there's this clarifying here that they're not about botting, like I said, where you could just click a thing and it will run and it will play the game for you instead. It's talking about you press one button and instead of just doing one, you press like the Q button, for example, and it'll put on all of your magic set. Like it'll do the full switches for you. I think the major one that people used to use, or well, I assume used to use, right? There's no reason to use it anymore with Bladed Dive being changed, but Bladed Dive, right? I know a lot of people use this, or used to, or whether they still do, I don't freaking know. They would have one keybind, they press it, and it would equip both of their weapons, then use Bladed Dive, and then I guess click. I don't know, maybe you would click, but it would basically do the full action for you rather than you having to switch it yourself, right? It would just do it for you, done, one key, and then you can put your other weapons back on. Or people would do something, but what people are doing now is hybrids become a lot more required or expected, or people are using hybriding a lot more between magic and melee or magic and ranged or whatever to get the most out of DPS and stuff, which is freaking right. To me, this is crazy to see, and it's great. I love when I see these people that are way ahead of me, like so far ahead of me in terms of PVM, like talent, I guess, or experience, and they're so good at the game where they're now going, right, we can get more out of switching between magic and range, magic and melee, and then they're pushing this stuff that I would never even be able to do. But the thing is, that's content that I can't do yet, and maybe one day I'll learn it, right? Maybe one day I'll give it a go, and it's something I can work towards, so it's impressive to see. But that's what they're talking about here with the things. You press one button, it changes to all melee. You press one button, it changes back to all magic, and you can take advantage of that in the thing. So it says, where do we draw the line, though? It's super hard to police if it was given the go-ahead, and we all know some would use them so unethically that they'd get F1 to go and do Telos Phase 1 for them. I exaggerate, but you know what I mean. So basically saying that, I assume this means more or less like writing a script, right? I think what they're saying here is once you give a go ahead for a macro, would it then make it harder to detect the difference between a macro and a bot? Because doing a full Telos phase would be a bot to me, because that's too much, right? That's not a macro, that's a script. No, because you've got to tell it to do this full rotation. You got to do this full switch. You got to do a shield switch. You got to do escape for the uppercut, or freedom for the hold still, and resonance and stuff. That would be more like a script, more like a bot to me. So maybe what they're saying here is the difference between noticing whether it would be a macro or a bot, the line would then be blurred even more, and it'd be harder to detect. We're saying, as it stands, many people would love to be able to compete, if that's the right word, on a slightly more level playing field, but outright refuse to, over fear that one day they build a macro input. The day they build a macro input will be the day Jagex do a ban wave, etc., and the OP themselves as well. So a lot of people want to use macros, is what they're saying here, but they won't, because what if, right? What if? And I'm just going to say, right, if Jagex implemented something in game, and I've said this before, it's absolutely fine to me, if Jagex implemented something in game, and said, hey, you're okay to do this, or if they even just came out and said, yeah, you can use macros as long as it's nothing more than a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3 or something, right? Which would mean one key for however many you want to use. I would do this. I would probably do it for, actually, wait, I would probably do it for switching for certain stuff. I would probably do it for, I would probably try hybriding. I don't know. There's nothing really, I don't do hybriding, so they've already taken out, like Greater Sunshine, there's no Vigor anymore. There's no Planted Feet anymore. I don't use flanking, maybe for that. I don't know. But I would, yeah, if it was going to make the gameplay easier, and I'm not like playing a keyboard instead of just pressing a few buttons, then it would make sense to me, because, and also it would be better for newer players as well, because the combat's try and tell a newer player who's starting that you have to press 500 buttons every now and then, like throughout one kill in every few seconds. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. Anyway, conclusion: community management are putting such an emphasis on being transparent and communicating more effectively with us, which it has become with a new J mod who's starting today, I believe, and then they put welcome. But I feel as part of this transparency and communication, there needs to be an element of the same effectiveness within the company across the various departments, especially when the game is gearing so heavily towards PVM content. Okay, so that's the end of that. And as you can see, this post is still getting interactions. There's 2 people already typing now. But the interesting thing here is I kind of agree with all of it, in the sense that we just need the clarity. And this last paragraph here is kind of interesting. We'll see what happens, because yes, there has been a new community management person joined today, which has begun with the new J mod, and hopefully, I mean, maybe we'll get information on this, right? Which is why another reason, other than the fact that it's content, obviously, that I'm making this video too. If you make noise about stuff, maybe one day we'll hear something. So I'd also encourage anybody else to talk about this. Come here, upvote the post or something. I don't know, share your thoughts, do whatever you want to do, make some noise about it, because if we get clarification on this, then maybe we can then get clarification on other stuff as well, that we want clarification on. And it's good. Like, this is a pretty well written post, in my opinion, in the sense that it's not targeting Jagex or anything, in the sense that, like, specific J mods. It's just asking the question of, can we please have clarity, macros for PVM, yes or no? Like, if these people have said here that we don't ban for it, and they did, it's on the video. It is on video. Like, we've all seen this. If you've seen this thing, it's on video saying they don't. But then for another, like, part, the support staff to say we do ban for it, it's like, well, do you guys talk to each other? What do you mean? So it's definitely interesting. But anyway, that's my take on it, is that they should probably allow macros, but if they can put it in game and limit it. So, like, say they implement a system in most of MMOs. I think World of Warcraft has this, Final Fantasy 14 has this, pretty certain, where you can do in-game macros. You can tell the game to do it itself, right? And then they can add their own limitations to it. If Jagex could do this, where they let us do, like, I don't know, 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 macros where you could swap, or maybe 1 to 5 if you want to do full gear sets. I don't know really how many you would need. Then do it in game. Then you can regulate it as well. You can keep on top of, like, what people are doing with it. You can't have people go to freaking Telos, as the example gives here, and do the full phase or the full kill. That's not a script. That's a macro then at that point. So if they do it in game, or even do like this, right? You get dual wield weapons and you add a combine option to them. So you have a Appraisal Wand, Appraisal Orb, and you add an option where you can combine them and they become one item. Dual wield Appraisal Wand, dual wield Appraisal Orb, whatever. That way it takes 1 inventory spot and it takes 1 action bar as well. And then you can just have that as 1 keybind, and it's 1 for 2 just like that. Maybe you could do it with stuff like that. You could combine an armor set, so it's in your inventory as 1 inventory space as well. You could have your helm, body, and legs, combine them, 3 items become 1. You put them into your thing, and then when you're done and you want to trade them or anything like that, you just right click it and you uncombine them and you get all 3 pieces back. I don't know, if you could do that, then is it fixed? I would say that's probably fixed, right? Is it just for Switch? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, we're going to have a quick skim through the comments before we end the video. That's my take on it. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments. We're going to have a look through here, though, and we're going to see what people say. So this person here, Phoenix, says, I'm hoping for them to release in-game macros. Yes, just like I said, like 1 button for dual wield and such would improve the PVM experience and free up so many other keybinds. Yes. We can't have any extra action bars. Like, we already know that we can't have more action bars on the screen because it will lag the servers out too much. They've said this. So this would help, I guess. Would it? Maybe. I don't know how it works on the client side or the server side or whatever. But it would help us because we could free up inventory space and keybinds on the action bar. So I don't know, it sounds good to me. The next one says something about whatever. I don't care about people using things like macros or Alt-1 until Jagex starts balancing the game around the assumption that everyone uses them. Okay, so this could be something that you have to worry about. I play on a Mac, so I didn't have access to Alt-1 for things like clue solving and AFK warding. I don't have a problem that they have it easier in some aspects of gameplay. But it is a little irritating that Jagex made slider puzzles longer to solve, to try and balance it out, which just harshly punishes people who aren't taking advantage. Did they do this? Wait, did Jagex make these slider puzzles longer because people are using Alt 1? Did they actually? People who do clues, because I don't do clues, for anyone who knows me at all will know that I don't do clues. Let me know in the comments, did they actually do this? Because if so, then I don't know. That's interesting to me, but yeah. This person says they don't care if people use macros to dual switch, but to one button, even a hybrid gear switch. People support that like PVM macros are some boogeyman where people are doing full rotation with a single click. Some people might macro gear switches when hybriding, but it's not that hard to do normally, and most people would do it legit anyway. It'd honestly be nice if Jagex implemented a system for players to make combat macros. I agree. So, I don't think the post was against it, right? Yeah, they say myself included. So the person who wrote the post says that they would use them if they were allowed. So they also would be okay with this. But yeah, lack of clarity in this issue is completely embarrassing for them. Personally, I don't see any need for macros in the game. Would rather they just enforce the current rules, since they've already added all those things. There's no excuse to macro. Okay, fair enough. However, literally anything is better than the awful grey area that has existed for over a decade now, where the rules say one thing and the JMod's enforcement says another. Don't have rules if you're not going to enforce them. Pick a side. Yeah, definitely. So I think most of the stuff in here seems pretty much the same, right? Macros are fine. Just let people use them. They're specifically waiting for OP to start macroing, just for OP. And then I don't know. Yeah, you accuse people of using macros, but it's perfectly possible to change full armor in one tick without macros. It is for some people. Many others it's not. I have an MMO mouse with 12 buttons on it so that I can do switches easier. Without it, screw this game, man. Honestly, couldn't do combat, but yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it at this. Everyone is pretty much on the same page. It looks like the post is mostly positive with the comments and stuff. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of this video as well. Make some noise about it, talk about it. I'll link this post in the description if you want to come over and share your thoughts over here as well. Whether you agree or disagree, it is what it is. It's not really up to me. Like I say, this is content for me, and yeah, I think the topic is interesting. You got my take. What do you guys think? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, sub to the channel if you are new. Patrons, channel members, thank you so much. Appreciate you all, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.